Wilmington. The 910 podcast is about to bring to you your weekly dose of tips, tricks, and hacks, and news and events affecting Wilmington and all of southeastern North Carolina. So take your seats and buckle up because it's going to be a wild ride. And here are your hosts, the Hot Mess Express, Shanny Mae and Frankie!
What's up, Wilmington? It's Shanny Mae.
And I am Frankie.
And we're here to bring you that Hot Mess Express this week.
Wow, it is Labor Day. Can you believe that?
I can't. Oh my gosh, where did this summer go?
Yeah, I want to go back to Memorial Day. Let's get a redo.
Yeah, let's redo. I'm up for that.
I got my hair cut today. And
get your ears lowered.
Yeah, there's a funny story behind all that, but maybe I already told you. But so I heard the girl say today that she only went to the beach twice this year.
Honestly, I didn't get to go anywhere near as much as I usually do, but I kind of spent a little more time than usual in the hospital too. So I would certainly like a redo and go back to the beach instead of looking at the walls in the hospital room.
Yeah, well, she didn't have that excuse.
She just didn't go.
She just didn't go. She said that she was busy working, but the place that she works, I'm sure they don't stay open past 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
So
now, I don't know about you, but I don't much go lay on the beach after 9 o'clock at night. But
I dang sure do go walk and look at the beautiful stars and the moon and all that. And then there's also before work.
Yeah.
So
I probably don't open until like 10 or so.
Yeah, I make it a point that every day that I see the ocean.
That's a good.
I may not go out there like on it and lay in it and have to put sunblock on and stuff, but I do go and make sure that I see it and enjoy its beauty and majesty.
Nothing like breathing that salt air.
Yeah, and just seeing the roaring of the waves and the sandiness of the beach and the things that are out there and enjoying the nature and the sounds and the fun stuff.
Heck yeah. Did you keep my copy too?
Oh, well, you got like the rundown sheet though, right? I got the events. I can give you.
I got a hot mess is what I got.
Yeah, you are. Yeah, it's so we record this on Thursday nights typically. Sometimes there's a special occasion and sometimes there's not. And so tonight on Thursday nights, usually it's the Carolina Beach fireworks and live music, but because it's the last one, they moved it to tomorrow night, which is Friday night, and I'm not sure why they did that. So that's just pulling back the curtain just a little bit for you, and so things are just a little off. Plus, it's Labor Day, and we were talking earlier about what's going on this weekend, and there's not a lot.
I'm thinking everybody's going to be doing some barbecues at the neighbors, a little party and a little shakedown, but seems like Friday night there is a night market at River Lights, like Marina Village. So they've got a lot of vendors out there, kind of like the farmer's market type thing from 4 to 8. And then, of course, you got your downtown sundown band. This is the last one of the summer. So round it out with the Satisfaction, the Rolling Stones tribute band. And that's tomorrow night downtown. So, there's a little bit of Friday night stuff.
So what time, let's go back to River Lights. What time does that start?
It's from 4 to 8 at Marina Village. This is the night market. So they've got vendors, jewelry, food, produce.
When was the last time you've been by River Road, by that area?
Honestly, probably about a month or 6 weeks or so. A friend of mine owns the cafe there at River Lights, the Magnolia Cafe, and so I try to get out and see her every now and then. But
is that the one that's on the water?
Mm-hmm. It's like right there in the little village.
But it's not a cafe. It's like a full-blown restaurant.
Oh, no, you're talking about the restaurant. Yeah, this is like in the little strip mall there by it.
So your place, the Magnolia Cafe, what do they serve?
They have all kinds of stuff, but she does like specialty coffees and desserts, and then she does breakfast and lunch, and they have some really cool little stuff like sandwiches and stuff she shares. It looks really good, so wish I could get out there more often.
Well, it's real crazy because people probably think we plan a whole lot of this, and we really don't. So you're just throwing this all at me. So,
I know, right?
Surprise! So I got a bunch of questions. So she has a cafe that's there. Well, do you know what the restaurant's called?
Magnolia Social Cafe.
No, the
The restaurant is, I think it's River Lights, isn't it?
is it? Mm. Wow. Okay, so I'm gonna have to get by there. But if any of you folks that live here in the area, if you haven't been down River Road recently, you should definitely swing down. And it's amazing that the amount of development that they have going on there.
It is. It just looks like a different world from what you've seen if you grew up or have been here for a while.
Yeah, good or bad, there's a lot of development that's going on. I mean, I know I have some friends that used to ride like 3-wheelers and go off-roading over there.
That was the place.
Yeah, so now you'd be like off-roading in someone's backyard.
Yeah, it's not somewhere you want to do that now. You might go to jail.
So I'm going to have to go over there and check that out, the Magnolia Cafe.
She's open from 7 to 5. It's an upscale cafe, breakfast, lunch, sandwiches, things like that. So definitely something to check out. We'll have to meet over there one day.
Yeah, absolutely.
Maybe when we go to the car show.
Yeah, when is the car show?
September 15th. There's a car show out at River Lights, and that's during the day. So we could maybe meet up, have some coffee, and some kind of little early snack there at her cafe.
Yeah.
Tammy, hope you're doing well. Shout out to my girl. She got a little sickness like me. We warriors. We stick together. We the hard girls.
I heard that. Awesome. Yeah, so that's what you've got going on this week. And you said the Rolling Stones cover band, Downtown Sundown. It's the last Downtown Sundown. This week seems like it's the last of a lot of things. But not the last of this podcast.
No, we never go away. You can't get rid of us.
Unless you unsubscribe. But please don't do that. Please subscribe. Tell all your friends and family to listen to us. And give us a 5-star rating. If you can't give us a 5-star rating, then give us a little bit more time. Maybe we'll grow on you. but those
keep
5-star
checking
ratings, it'll help us get like some sponsors. And right now, we only have the couple that have stuck with us by this whole time, and we thank them greatly. And so, were there any other events that caught your eye that we have time to talk about this evening?
Sunday from 12 to 3 at Fermanagh on Market Street, the Parrot Sanctuary is having a needs drive. So you can go out, you can see Charlie, the painting parrot. He's an old elderly parrot that paints his own pictures, and they sell them for benefit. But they are raising needs for the actual parrot sanctuary. So rice, pasta, canned chicken, things like that. I think that the birds can eat or use, and stuff that they need for the actual parrot sanctuary. That is from 12 to 3. Let's see.
I've been wanting to go up there. I think the actual sanctuary is in Beulahville. I've seen some pictures and videos of it, and it's pretty impressive. And I think that those birds are, I don't want to say important. I mean, I guess they are important. But when you think about, these are big animals.
Absolutely.
When you think about that someone and they're expensive.
And they live for a long time.
And
people don't realize that.
Exactly. So, like you were saying earlier, that Charlie's like 70.
I think he is around 70. Yeah.
And so you would think that how horrible it would be for anybody, like a 70-year-old person, or if dogs lived to be 70, that someone just neglected it and it just perished. But these people are really doing some good work and saving these animals. And I saw they have them in nice big cages, and so I think it's definitely a good cause, and actually I think it's good that a lot of times people are more inclined to help animals than they are folks.
Yeah, well, considering society these days.
Yeah.
I kind of like my animals more than I do people some days too. Most days.
Yeah, I love my lazy dog that snores and
snoring in the corner over there
and hides and then whines when someone comes.
He's a ladies' man. Leave him alone.
He definitely is. but he looks at me like, can I just go home with her? And it's just like, I just feel like he doesn't love me. Like he's
just using you.
Exactly. Like a lot of people in my life, they just use me for not dog food, but and it's like, and then
treats and a good time, and then he goes home.
And see, that's how I know he's tired, because I said treats, you said treats, and he's still like not moving over there. Bless him.
I hear him snoring out the corner though.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome. So there are some things that are going on this weekend, and I'm not excited that Labor Day is here and Labor Day weekend, but I did see a lot more traffic today, so it's going to be busy, and so everyone, if you're planning to go somewhere, give yourself a little bit more time. If the beach that you normally go to is crowded, it's going to be super crowded, so get there a little earlier.
Yep. Prepare. Saturday, there is a cat adoption at PetSmart. All you crazy cat ladies, get your purse and run yourself out there and get you a new kitty cat.
Now, I saw one that was waiving the adoption fees. That may not be that one.
I don't think it is. I didn't see that on theirs, but that's cool. A lot of the times the shelters or the animal shelter will do it, but.
And I think that's what it was. I think it was like one of the shelters somewhere was maybe doing it. So, but help these. Do you know who was doing that? Who's hosting?
PetSmart.
Okay. Yeah, so if you've been wanting a cat, it might be a good time to go and get one and help rescue a feline.
Yeah. I don't do inside cats because they want to scratch around in their litter box and climb up on your kitchen counter, and Shanny got a problem with that.
Well, I'm allergic, and I guess that's probably the best excuse.
Yeah, I got an outside cat, and she's sweet, and I love her, but she doesn't have the opportunity to scratch in a litter box and get on my kitchen counter. So I'm cool. We're cool with each other. I feed her. She meows. I pet her. We go on about our business. We meet on the porch several times a day.
Yeah. And it's like cats always crack me up because they just seem like they don't even care. Mm-hmm. Like it's like whatever they want.
Yeah.
Sort of like Max. Max, he acts like a cat in that like he wants you when he wants you, but when he doesn't want you, he doesn't care. It's
like bye.
Yeah. I mean, he goes and will lay at someone else's feet and just look at me like,
move along, peasant.
Well, yeah. What are you going to do about it?
See my new friend.
It's not this coming week, but coming up shortly, there's going to be a film screening, and I guess this will move into our next topic. And the movie is called The Rack Pack. And
that could go in several different ways.
Yeah, it could. And now you made me second guess myself. Is that really what it's called?
The Wreck Pack. All I could think is Wreck City, Wreck City, y'all. I don't think that's where you were going with that.
I'm like, am I giving myself away? Was I looking at something I shouldn't? Let me take a look. And so while I'm stumbling and fumbling and all shook up here, so one thing that I did last week was I went to the Comic-Con.
Oh, cool. I didn't see any pictures of that. You should have sent me pictures.
Man, I have completely realized that I'm not super big on pictures, and I really need to be, especially with the events that I go to and stuff. But I realized after it was over with, and so with real estate, I'm a lot more comfortable talking about it. But to go to someone that is and say, "Hey, can I take your picture?" That's kind of out of my comfort zone.
Can I take a picture of you in your underoos?
Yeah, exactly. you role playing. That's we'll talk about that, I guess. Yeah. So no, I definitely need to get better at I think I may have posted a picture from up in Raleigh.
You did. I saw that, and I saw the pier thing, the other concert.
Oh, yeah. Casey and Sunshine.
So you did go somewhere.
I forgot.
I got to tell you where you went. What kind of mess is that?
But I forgot until I left there of taking a picture of people. Mm-hmm. But it's hard for me because a lot of people when they go out in public, they don't want their picture taken. But these people are dressed up that way, and there was a girl in a Harley Quinn outfit who was acting and talking like Harley Quinn. It was just so cool and / creepy. You know?
You're like,
And there was a Freddy Krueger, and I'm just. It takes me a while to warm up to an idea and go to something new. So, so the Rack Pack is a movie that was filmed locally, and I guess I shouldn't. Maybe I will. So, while we were at this Comic-Con, there was this guy who used to be a pro wrestler, and his name was the Maestro, and he was on TV, kind of a big deal. They did this whole big production thing, and his I don't know his real name, but he had wrestled as Gorgeous George the Third or something, and then as a kid, he's not that much older than me, but as a kid he had wrestled at my high school for some event, and so he was there. And I've seen like some of his like advertisements of wrestling stuff there in the area, and I haven't went to a wrestling show in forever. But so anyway, he was there, and they was going to do a Q&A. So my friend that I was with is totally not into wrestling. He's all more acting and whatever, and he wasn't feeling 100% anyway. And I said, hey, look, I really want to go in here and hear this guy. The thing that got me was a question and answer session. It's like it's one to hear someone go in there and talk, right?
Right.
But to be able to ask them questions that they're not expecting.
Exactly.
And so my friend said, yeah, we could do it. We could go in there. So we went in there, and I sort of feel like this wrestler guy, his name is Robbie Kellum. Robbie Kellum, I think. Robert Kellum, maybe. I'm not sure his acting name that he goes by now, but he's in this movie, The Rack Pack, and you guys should check it out. It was filmed locally here, and he is as far as I know, a good dude. And I say that because I only know him superficially, but I do know that we got a lot of mutual friends. So anyway, we go in there, and I start asking this guy's questions, and I can tell that he's just not prepared for my questions. Mm-hmm. And he didn't really have good answers for those. They were just sort of what I expect from most. And look, Robbie, if you're listening to this, I love you, man. I think you're awesome. And I think you're a great asset to the community. But those answers was just sort of the typical wrestler BS. And I would love to take you to coffee one morning and ask you questions and not put you on the spot. But maybe I did in that situation. So when we left, I just kept making that joke of, it's like you ask someone a question sometimes and they don't have an answer. So they just sort of like, here, ask me a question. Something about my past and my life.
Well, I heard that you did a little dabbling in wrestling. So,
wrestling? Well, I've been to a couple shows in my life, and I have a couple of friends. But what's more important is I'm in real estate now.
Absolutely.
And I love real estate, and real estate's absolutely awesome. I sound like Trump on that one, but yeah, you get my point. So it's like he touched on it for a second. But then I was asking like really serious questions that I really wanted serious answers to, because because you don't have a lot of time that you meet someone and who's from a different area, and he and I could have played the name game, and we would know and have worked with a bunch of the same folks, but it was where he was this person, and there you think about this, he was on like TBS and TNT in a big like production with lights and multiple cameras and millions of people watching. Right. And there's not many people that are alive that can say that they did that week after week. And that was one of the things that really intrigued me. So anyway, I don't know where I'm going on burying this guy, but the Comic-Con was really fun, and it was long. I think it went like 10 to 5-ish.
Oh, wow, yeah.
Which doesn't seem long, but when you're dressed up like Freddy Krueger in a hot wool sweater, That wasn't me, but there was one. And I wish I'd taken a
Slasher
picture.
hands.
Yeah, he had it all, and kept looking at me, and I
Don't lie, Freddie creeped you out.
no. Anybody in mask and makeup creeps me out.
Yeah.
That's the truth. I do not. Like, I have a hard time recognizing people without makeup and stuff on. So when you put on a Freddy Krueger mask, I'm not going to know who you are, and it's going to creep me out.
Yeah. My son's like that with clowns, and he's 20 years old and 6'1", 240. So, he's always like, Mommy, you don't know who's under that makeup. And he's right, you don't.
Yeah, no.
I mean, even since he was a little kid, we'd go to the circus. The clowns would come out. He'd like hide behind me. And I'm like, what in the world? Everybody else's kids are all up there wanting their balloon animals, and he was terrified. But one day he was like, Mama, I don't know who's behind it. And I kind of thought about it, and I'm like, well, you teach your kid all these years, don't talk to strangers. Then you take them to the circus, and you're like, here, take a picture with this painted up stranger. So, I mean, at least he kind of had a point.
Well, and that's absolutely the truth. It's like I was, and, some of the costumes were like, and there weren't a ton of people. So it wasn't like in the main convention center. It was in the old train station there.
Oh, okay.
And there weren't a ton of people, but some of them, what they were dressed up in just seemed like creepy.
Yeah.
It's just like I didn't get the character.
Right. So you didn't even know who it was they were supposed to be.
Well, yeah, because it just looked like some like devil worshiping dude from some like an 80s unsolved mystery episode.
Oh, wait a minute. Who are you and who did you kill?
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, I mean, they could not even have been there for the Comic-Con. They could have just been there,
been there scoping people out.
Yeah, for a sacrifice. And that's how I felt. Freddy Krueger, I kind of got, but it's still like it wasn't like a Walmart Freddy Krueger mask. It was a good one.
Well, I mean, honestly, Freddy's not really comic either. That's kind of, that's odd too.
Yeah. And so, but that thing was a lot of fun, and my friend didn't feel real well that day, and I won't mention him by name, but if he listens to this, which he better, he'll know who he is, and so I didn't want to push it or him, and that was Saturday. So I know I'm kind of jumping around here. So Friday night I went to Raleigh to see Runaway Cab, and that was a 2+ hour drive. And I got there like right as the show was about to start, which is good. And as I pulled into the city, I lived in Raleigh for 3 years, I realized where I was. Like, someone can say, oh, Blunt Street, but I can't picture Blunt Street. Mm-hmm. But when I got there, I totally recognized where I was, and a bunch of memories came back. And I drove around like the block like 5 times trying to find a place to park. Eventually, I paid the $5 parking, and then I went and realized that I had to cut through the bus station to get to the place where the music hall where they were playing. And when I went in there, it was like a huge, overwhelming scent of weed. And not that I have a problem with weed, but I do have a problem with showing up that I smoke weed on the drug test.
Yeah, when you don't.
When I'm not supposed to. Especially if I'm not, like, partaking.
At least just get the benefits.
Yeah, exactly. Instead of, I got all the negative part. I got the paranoia without anything else, I mean.
Did you at least go get you something to eat afterwards?
And I love being at the Runaway Cab show, and I talked to the drummer Marshall, and Marshall Ure, I believe that's how they pronounce it. He is such a cool guy, such a talented musician, and he and I talked for a minute. I gave him a hug, and if you all don't know me, I'm a hugger. So if I see you in public, I'm going to give you a hug. And then if you probably give your spouse, your husband, or girlfriend, or who else a hug too. So don't think that I'm flirting with anybody. I'm just a hugger, and I think that more people need hugs.
Absolutely. The world would be a better place.
Yeah.
If you hugged instead of talking crap.
Yeah, so I talked to one of my friends in real estate, and she said, oh, well, you used to do Flamboyant Friday, which is where I would wear like an outrageous shirt. And I said, well, I wear an outrageous shirt every day now. I mean, you never know what the heck I'm going to show up on. I'm wearing a white shirt with lemons all over it now. And that's not too crazy, but it's pretty darn crazy. But before that, I used to have Free Hug Friday, and I would just hug a bunch of people.
Just random strangers. You get a hug, you get a hug, you get a hug.
Exactly. Exactly.
Hugs for everybody.
And so Raleigh Cab was really cool. I got back in Wilmington at like 4 o'clock in the morning.
Oh.
That was rough. And I didn't even stay for the whole show. I wanted to, but I knew that if I stayed, then I would get home much later.
Mm-hmm.
Then I got up. Well, I didn't even go to sleep. I stayed awake, and then I went to the Belk Charity Sale, and I told you that was a bust.
Yeah.
But I did go to both Belk. We've got one in Mayfair and then one at the Independence Mall, and I still could not find anything to spend on. But I did donate $5 to the homeless, and that's a good cause. And then that morning, 10, 11 o'clock, I went to the Comic-Con.
Oh, yeah. So you were up all night and all day.
Yeah.
Well, see, they might have thought you were a character. You might have been looking like it about that point.
I'm sure that was. And my friend and I, we went and walked on the Riverwalk. Then went back by the Comic-Con and saw some new characters. And then we parted ways and then met back up later that night for Casey and the Sunshine Band.
Okay, cool deal. Yeah, I saw they were here. I hadn't seen them in years. I remember when they used to open for Hootie and the Blowfish at Mad Monk. That was a long time ago.
Someone was asking about on one of the Facebook groups about the name of a bar, and the answer was the Mad Monk.
Uh-huh.
Well, so my friend, a different friend, I have more than one.
Well, you only have one friend, don't lie.
Well, that means it was you. You're giving yourself
I know,
away.
right? I'm a he now.
Well, she meant to tag me in a post where someone was asking something about a realtor real estate. But she tagged me in this post where they were asking about the Mad Monk, and I wasn't even in town then. Where was the Mad Monk?
There was 2 locations. It was originally where Carrabba's is on Market Street, kind of across from IHOP. And then it burned, and they moved. I never went to the second location because by then I had my son and I was home being mom. But I'm almost positive it was over near the kind of behind Cheetah's in that area over there. I'm thinking that's where it was when they moved it. But the original Mad Monk was where Carrabba's is, right there, kind of at the overpass at Market and College for years, and it burned.
Wow, that's interesting.
Lots of crazy memories there for lots of local people, I'm sure.
Well, good. Let's hear some.
Oh, well, no. They're not shareable memories. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, that was that one time that the horse walked into a bar with a unicorn.
Yeah, well, that's the best joke. We'll have to share that one on our page. There was this horse and a unicorn in the bar, and yeah, they'll have to go to our page and check it out so they understand.
Well, so my friend, and this friend, his name was Damo. It's DJ Damo of DJ Damo fame. And he and I were there at Casey the Sunshine Band. A couple of funny things happened. So, the first funny thing was that we didn't pay for tickets.
So you could hear it from over there just fine.
Exactly. And but Dave and I, we don't like really loud noises. So I'm probably going on legitimately an hour, maybe 2 of sleep.
Ugh.
And I probably got an hour of that while I was driving back from Raleigh.
Catnapping in between breaks.
Yeah, in between the rumble
strips. Yeah, there you go, Jinx.
Yeah, I felt like sometimes they were like my alarm going off,
Wake up, jackass, you're running off the road.
Yeah, so remind me to tell you a funny story about coming back from Gallagher's that came out in the tribute. So, so I didn't have much sleep. We're standing out there. Casey, whose real name is not Casey, his last name is Casey, but not like KC. It's like Casey, Casey. Mm-hmm. Well, I didn't know that. Well, my friend did. He's kind of a music nerd, Damo. I've already outed him, so I'll tell you. And he may or may not be the person I was talking about being with earlier in the morning at the Comic-Con. We'll leave that to the attorneys to figure out. But Damon and I were standing there, and he knew a lot of history about. I think his name is Harold something Casey. But anyway, the leader of Casey and the Sunshine Band, who has to be at least 70, I'm going to say. I couldn't see.
I was thinking I wasn't old enough to get into the Mad Monk when I went. Shh.
Yeah.
But he was old then.
well, so he, at this one point, starts talking, and we probably got there the last half. We probably saw half the concert. And he starts talking, and he says, I've got, I don't remember how many numbers, but like X amount of Grammys, and I've been nominated for this many, and I've got this and that. And then like the band starts playing a song that seems recognizable, and he says, and this person told me that the song I wrote, blah, 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 influenced them to write this song. And then he plays it. And so Damon looks at me and he says, wow, it seems like you and Casey of the Casey Session Band like went to the same school of, putting yourself over and talking about how great you are.
Don't be a hater. You can't think you're so great.
And it was absolutely awesome because like he kept doing this, and he would say something that seems like it was modest, but then it would be like how wonderful he is.
You can hear how great thou art playing in the background.
Exactly, yeah. And so Damos, the joke is that someone said, "Oh, well, Frankie, all you do is brag about how great you are at real estate on the podcast," and my rebuttal was, "Well, who else is going to brag about me?"
Exactly.
And how great I am.
I don't do it. Who will?
Exactly, and that's what KC was doing. But the difference is,
toot your own horn. It's okay.
The difference is that he's on stage and he would say, "Oh, I got 4 Grammys." Everyone would cheer, and it's like I saved people $56,000 last year.
I'll cheer for you.
And I got one. That's enough. I'll take it. So that was real funny. And the other like funny part / sad part was that while we were standing there, all of a sudden, have you been there to?
I've been down there during the daytime, but not during a concert. So I've not seen it when all the people were there.
So we were at the Riverwalk, and I don't know if they try and route the Riverwalk so that it goes like around toward the river, or if it wanted to go on the backside of this restaurant. But the restaurant used to be called Blackfin Grill. Now it's called Marina Grill. So there at the Marina Grill, they had a section roped off, and there were 2 large ropes, maybe a couple inches in diameter, and they were attached to like 2 trash cans, I think, two big objects like on way across the side, and there was a man standing there that was, I don't know, guarding them or something. Well, all at once we heard like wood sliding across stone, and we looked, and there was this woman, young woman in probably her 20s, maybe early 30s, somewhere in between legal drinking age and too old to be this drunk in public. And she's teetering by her like waist on this rope.
I'm sorry, I have to laugh because that is totally something I would accidentally do.
Yeah, and like she's trying to push herself back up, and like she's like teetering.
I think I can.
Yeah, and like I'm only guessing that like the security guard guy stopped it with his body and was like keeping the like 2 trash cans from coming together,
tying her up like a cow.
Yeah, and then she stands up and just like kind of like shrugs it off, and then walks behind us and like gathers herself and is just like looking around and like texting on her phone, and everyone keeps like looking at her, and then Damon's looking at her, and I'm just like, and then at one point she comes and she gets like right in front of me, and Damon says something like, "Watch out, don't trip over that," or something like funny that he's like trying to make a joke. And I was like, "What are you talking about?" And then I looked, I was like, oh, yeah, that liability there. But it was I mean, it was sad/funny, and she was okay, and she went on.
She may not or may remember it today.
Yeah.
If it's you, we loved it. We're not putting you down. We all have those wrap yourself up in the rope, fall down moments.
I just wish I'd been recording and got it.
Me too. Me too.
So that was my last weekend and my big events. What did you do?
I actually went to a barbecue of a close friend that I haven't seen in quite a while, so it was awesome to hang out there with them. So much food, such good food, and he actually is a DJ in the area as well. DJ Buckshot. Buckshot, shout out, woo woo! You did a hell of a party, bro. Appreciated it. Had a great time. The food was awesome, and the people were even better. The company was the best. So they went all out. Him and his wife did prizes and games, and it was just really a great setup. We had a good time. That evening, one of my very best friends renewed her vows. It was her 16th anniversary, so I went to the vow renewal ceremony for her, and then I went back to the pig picking and barbecue, whatever you call it, wherever you're from. I know people that aren't from down here are like, pig picking, what is that? You stand around, you picking a pig? Well, yeah, that's what we do. What do you do where you're from?
Yeah, you're like, hey, pig, you're fat.
Pig picking.
Yeah, you pick
Eat
on
you
it.
something.
You pick on
Pick
it.
you some pig.
Look at you with that big old snout. You pick on it.
So it was a good time. We had a great time. Good little break. Then Sunday, I didn't do much of anything but vegged out, laid around, caught up on some rest I hadn't been getting because, I run 24/7. But that's what keeps me going because if I stop, I stop. So I might as well keep on keeping on. So it was a great time. Good weekend. Good family and friend time. And now here we are. Like you said, I cannot believe it's Labor Day. And the end of the summer.
Yeah, and I think erroneously in the last episode, I probably said that we were going to do our top five, first top five episode, which we're really, really excited about. I said that we were going to do that this week, but I was wrong because I guess I can't read a calendar. But I said we're going to do the top fives the first week in each month. And we were close, so we record this on Thursdays, and on Friday is the 31st. So we were close, but we decided to go ahead and talk about the events that we went to, and this week we wouldn't talk about a whole lot of events, but we'll touch back on it in a couple of weeks. Next week, when we talk about our top five and the top five episode that our friends and had voted on was the top five restaurants in the area. And when we talk about that, we are not talking about any events. We are just talking about the top five restaurants in the area. And the way that's going to work is Shanny Mae is going to have her five restaurants, top five. She's going to have them ranked in order from 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and she's going to give me her number 5. I'll give her my number 5. Well, she'll give me her number 5, then she'll talk about her number 5, and then I'll give a comment about the number 5 if I even know what the heck she's talking about, and then I'll give my number 5, and then she'll talk, and we'll talk about it. And then, so that's how it will go. So she'll give her number 5, I'll give my number 5, and we'll go all the way down to 1, and then we are going to go and give some love to those businesses here in the area.
Sounds like a good idea to me because we can always grub while we're there.
Oh, yeah. And I like to eat, that's for sure.
I told you earlier I didn't get this fluffy by not eating what the heck I want. What is it? So the Pooh Bear says, it's not fat, I'm fluffy. Stuffed with fluff.
Who said that?
Pooh Bear.
Really?
Winnie the Pooh. He's stuffed with fluff.
Wow.
Bless it. He was too
said-
busy watching the HR Puffin stuff to know what the heck Pooh Bear was doing.
Yeah, if you know who HR Puffin stuff is, holler at me.
Please let him know because he had to point it out to me, but I think it might have been just a wee bit before my time. Or maybe I wasn't old enough to remember that acid trip.
So while we were at the Comic-Con, there was this business there that they take old VHS, well, anything VHS is old, but VHS cases, and they make them as like front pages of notebooks.
Oh, cool.
And it was really, really, really cool. And so it was neat to talk to these folks. Man, and I wish that I had mine. But it's VHS something. Hold on, I'm going to see if I can look it up. But so the company that made these little notebooks that are really neat, they're called, and I'm looking at the computer, but it's not there anymore, Be Kind Rewind VHS notebooks. They're on Facebook at that exact same name, and I will share them and tag them in some stuff because I think that those things are really, really neat, especially if you remember VHS or if you like movies and
got a lot of Disney VHS movies, the old school ones like Bambi and things like that. So,
and those people were really friendly, and sometimes when you're like at like trade shows or whatever, and the people are working, they're just trying to make some money, and they won't talk to you. And these folks just kept talking, and so we go back to what initially brought me to this, and that was the HR puffin stuff, and they all knew about HR.
Hey, I remember.
yes, and so it's like, welcome to the world of ADD. Okay, so it's like you start talking about one thing, and 30 minutes later you come back around to make that one point that you were talking about. So that is where we are. So we've talked about what we did last week. We've talked about some things that are coming up. We talked about the top 5 episode, which is coming out this next week, and it's always going to come out the first episode of the month. And I don't know why I had to iterate that, maybe for myself. So the first episode of the month will be a top 5, and we hope to have a special guest. If you're in the area, if you're one of our friends, or if you're not, and you want to come and talk with us about a top 5 that we're doing, we would love to have you. Don't be shy. Don't be nervous. Just come on here, and we'll do most of the talking, I promise. But we would love to have someone else talk about whatever it is. And if you're a listener and you like to talk and you want to hang out, you just message us and we will talk about that and get you on here and you can participate. Because I think that it'll be more fun, one episode a month, to have someone on here who's not regularly on here and let them do a little talking, maybe.
Oh, you gonna let somebody else brag?
Yeah, brag about your top 5.
Now, is that something that we're going to post on our page during the week before to let them vote on, or how are we doing that?
Oh, you mean of the next subject?
The top 5.
Yes. So after I post this episode of the top 5, so not this one, but when we post it, then I'll go ahead and we'll start working on the next one and see what our listeners want to hear or maybe any ideas, because you and I have busy lives and occupations and family and craziness going on because we are both hot messes. So for us to come up with all the ideas is kind of impossible. So we would like to have our listeners chime in with what they want to talk about, what they would love to hear, and what they would love to discuss, and then we will go from there. And I mean, I've sort of made a little list of like ideas that we can do, but I know that there are a lot of people out there who are a lot smarter than I am. So I would love it if you would give us some ideas.
Love some
and help us
input,
go.
definitely.
And as we're wrapping up here, let me just say that if you're a local business and you want to come on and talk, about your business, you don't have to come on while we're recording this show and sit here through the whole hour or whatever that we record. You can call me and I'll come out and meet you and we'll record, 4 or 5 minutes and let you just talk about your business. And the reason that, Shanny Mae and I think that that's important is because we both know that advertising is expensive and it shouldn't have to be. And sometimes I think that prices that people give you for advertising are just numbers based upon what they know that they can get.
Absolutely.
So we enjoy talking about this area that we love, which is, southeastern North Carolina. And we want to share this time that we can and help support other businesses and projects and things that we think are doing good in the area. And there's a lot more that we could ever even imagine or even name. So if you're one of those businesses, feel free to reach out to us at 910pod, and that's on all of our social media. You can email us at 910pod@gmail.com. And, Shanny Mae and my Facebook page is all out there, and my real estate. And Shannon, you want to ask me, how's the market?
Absolutely. How's the market been this week?
Well, and not much different than any of the previous weeks, and this is going to be the shortest how's the market ever, but I'm going to tell you that with Labor Day here, if you have a 3 or 4 bedroom in the area and you're looking to sell it, now's the time to get in touch with us, and we will be happy to talk with you and see if it's the right decision for you. And that is it. It is slowing down just a little bit, FYI. Cool. Is there anything else that I've missed?
I don't think so. I want to touch and tell everybody, Sunday, Johnny Luke's off of Market, 5:30 to 8:30. There is John Toppings hosting the acoustic open mic, so grab your instruments and come sing or play a few songs. Definitely a little fun. John's always a good time. Great guy. Always has a really good show. So you'd enjoy going out and hanging out with him. Bring your stuff. Check it out. Sing a few songs. We always like to hear the new talent in the area. And like you said, supporting the area in any way, any kind, any business, any frame of mind. Love where you live.
Yeah. Absolutely. So thank you all for listening, and make sure you tell your friends, family, like, share, subscribe, get this out, and give us some suggestions, things you want to hear about, things you want to talk about, and we really appreciate everybody and your time. And we do want to thank our sponsors, which are
Mermaid Kisses Photography, 910-231-8609, or on Facebook, Mermaid Kisses Photography. Come out and do any kind of photos that you need done within reason. Now that we know a little of the local people, we're going to put that within reason on there. We do graduation, weddings, any kind of anything, pretty much any function. And no job too big or too small, pun intended. Give us a call.
And Frankie Secrets Real Estate. I am with Anchored Real Estate, and our firm is the only firm here in town that does 1% listing fee, because we're really the only folks that are crazy enough to do it. And I'm very thankful and happy to do a listing fee that is 1/3 of what everyone else charges, because there's people who have overpaid in 2005 and 6 and 7 and 8, and they're losing money. So I'm happy to take a little of a pay cut to help people achieve their dreams. And if you're in real estate, don't hate that there's folks that are doing this, because I only did 17 business deals last year out of the thousands that are here in the area. I'm not trying to have the most sales, but I'm trying to help the most people sell their house and not lose money. And that's it. So my number, 910-233-0186. You can look me up online, Frankie Secrets Real Estate, and anchoredrealestate.com. And I think that is it.
Hey, sounds like a good week to me. Be safe, be smart, and above all, make us proud. Be a hot mess.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for joining us on this journey. Make sure to tell your friends to check out our webpage at 910pod.com and to subscribe to the podcast on your favorite podcast platform. If you take a minute and leave us a 5-star review, that really helps other people find us. If you're interested in becoming a sponsor of the show, email us at 910pod@gmail.com. And make sure you follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at 910pod. Stay safe. We'll see you next week right here on What's Up Wilmington, the 910 Podcast.